Hello, this is Allie with the Perception Trainers, author of The Perception Diet. And now that the camera is straight, today I want to talk to you about the pain body. So in my last video, which you can find down below, I talked about present moment awareness, and I talked about why you would want to be in the present moment, and why it's not just like this spiritual badge of honor to have, but that there's actually benefit for you in it. Why most people are afraid of it, because of traumatic experiences. Usually most of us have correlation of present moment and trauma. And then we talked about a little technique for pulling yourself into the present moment. And so if you have not watched that, please go do that first and then come back to this one, okay? So in that, we talked about the 3 P's of the present moment, which were that all of your power is in the present moment. We talked about that all of your pleasure is in the present moment, but also all of your pain, okay? So this brings us to this video, which is all about the pain body. So the pain body is just kind of like a spiritual term that people use for a stored pain, okay? So things, traumatic experiences that you have been through that you have not healed, okay? That are still a part of your psyche, that are still a part of your physical body, because our physical body stores our traumas, that are still a part of your emotional makeup, that are a part of what kind of either consciously or subconsciously drives you in this life to avoid that pain again, right? And when most people find that they start like a meditation practice, or they start trying to bring themselves into the present moment, or they start doing any of these kind of practices that are about being here and now and being still and being quiet and like turning off all distractions and not listening to music and just like sitting for a second, or just going for a walk and not listening to music or whatever, most people find it very, very, very uncomfortable, because again, all of their pain rushes to the surface, and that's essentially your pain body being active, being aggravated. And there is a very, very good reason why this happens, okay? And it's not the big, terrible thing of like, I'm going to be in pain forever and therefore I need to continue to run to distractions, right? Because this is what most people do. We feel like we have this emotional pain that we've been through that we don't know how to heal, that we don't know how to deal with. We feel like we are maybe even experiencing it over and over again in our current reality, because we are. And we just feel like the only option we have is either to like drown in the pain or to check out, right? And again, this is why so many of us never live in the present moment, because our pain comes up and we don't feel like we have tools to deal with it, or the pain keeps actually happening and we don't feel like we have the tools to deal with it, so we run away. So the first thing that I want to explain is why those painful situations keep happening, okay? So in a previous video, I talked about triggers, and I talked about how your triggers are coming up over and over again to get you to love them. And I wanted to take that a little bit deeper today and say, you know, really what your triggers are is your pain body pulling you back to similar emotional experiences that you had from the very first traumatic emotional experience that you had, that are pulling you back to those very similar experiences because it understands. So your pain body, your intuition, whatever it is, understands that the only way to heal a traumatic emotional event, a traumatic mental event, a traumatic physical event is unwavering, loving, approving presence, okay? So this presence that we've been talking about, this present moment awareness, this being present with yourself, is the thing that heals, okay? So the thing that heals your emotional wounds is your unconditionally loving, approving presence. The thing that heals your past traumatic events is your unconditionally approving, loving presence. And that is why the pain body is allowing you to be triggered over and over and over again, because it's feeling like if you couldn't have been present in the first time it happened to you, it's trying to get you to be present in it happening now, right? Because it's just like, it knows that if you were just to show up for one really painful experience with yourself and to just be approvingly present of yourself and of the situation and what was happening, you would heal. All right? And so this is why the pain body is triggering you, and this is why your triggers happen over and over and over again. And that's why I say they are a call for you to love them. But the thing is that most of us have such barriers to our traumatic experiences that to sit there and say just love your traumatic experiences, just love your negative emotions, it's way beyond the scope of what most people feel like they're capable of right now. Because again, when we have built up this pattern of checking out and running away from our negative emotions and running away from our pain and running away from our trauma and running to the past and running to the future and allowing our minds to be kind of all of these places all of the time and never being in the present moment, we've built up this kind of like, it's almost like when you've got something scary on the horizon and like the longer the distance between you and it happening, the longer you have to like create terrible scenarios that could happen. And it's almost like if you could just like rip the band-aid off without thinking about it, it's less painful than if you sit there and think about how painful it's going to be and all the hairs that are going to be ripped out, blah, 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 for like 20 minutes. Like, the fear of it is so much worse the longer you think about it. And it's the exact same way with our pain body and our trauma. It's like, because the length of time that we've been running away from our pain is so great, it's like we've built up this trauma around it. So not only is the pain there, it's now there's also all these stories and all of this belief around the pain that's super painful that's there as well. So now, for most of us, when we are to just sit in our negative emotion or to like sit in a negative situation or sit in something painful, it actually feels like we're going to die. And I want to tell you that because like, literally for me, when I first started doing this, when I first started learning how to be unconditionally, approvingly present with my pain, the first time I honestly thought my heart was going to stop. I did. I truly believed that I might not physically survive it. And I want to let you know that because, not to scare you, but just to tell you that like, if you feel that kind of resistance to the present moment, if you feel that kind of resistance to your pain, if you feel that kind of resistance to your negative emotions, that's normal and that's natural, and that's what most of us are going to have to go through. And just to kind of like bolster you up a little bit about that if that's how you feel, if it really feels like your inkling to check out into your self-destructive behaviors or into your cyclical thinking or into any of these things, because like that's the other thing, right, that you're triggered. So like your eating disorder, you're turning to processed foods, you're turning to drugs, you're turning to sex, you're turning to alcohol, you're turning to any of these things. You're doing it because truly and fully you believe, or even if you just like check out, like if you know that you like just mentally check out anytime something traumatic is happening to you and you can't seem to pull yourself into the present moment for it, just know that you have those things as a protective mechanism, right? They're there because they feel better than actually sitting in the pain that you feel like you have no control over, that you feel like you have no way of dealing with, no way of processing, okay? So if the only way to heal is presence, and if the only thing you don't want to do right now is presence, how do we heal? So this is why my first thing that I gave you was just pulling yourself into the present moment when nothing scary is happening. Because if you can train yourself over a period of time, like if you practice that over a period of time, you're going to start to see that, okay, not all present moments are terrible. That there is some goodness in the present moment. There is some benefit for me to be in the present moment. And if you can just train yourself on that, starting to become present is going to be a lot easier, okay? And becoming present with your pain is going to be a lot easier because you already now have a mental association with the present moment being beneficial. Okay, so you'll start to see that pleasure is increased when you can be in the present moment. You'll start to see that your power is increased when you start to be in the present moment. And when you start to see those mental benefits, when your mind starts to understand that there is benefit to being in the present moment, your brain is going to allow you to do it a lot more often, okay? Second thing that you're going to do is you're going to start to become aware of your uncomfortable stuff. So the pain that happens in the present moment or the pain that happens just generally throughout your day, just start to become aware of where it is in your body, all right? So you don't need to be unconditionally present with the negative emotion, okay? You don't need to like approve of your anger. You don't need to approve of your sadness. You don't need to approve of your guilt. You don't need to approve of your jealousy. Don't start with that, okay? Just start with where do you feel it in your body, and can you feel it in your body and not run away from it, okay? Just allow it to be. And third step from that is when you can start to just practice feeling it in your body and not needing to run away from it, or you just feel it in your body for a little bit and then you can run away from it if you need to. Third step is to allow yourself to soften around that pain in your body. So rather than tensing up when you feel that tightness in your chest, or tensing up when you feel that tightness in your gut, or trying to run away from the headache, or trying to run away from whatever, just allowing yourself to relax around it. And just to say, okay, I know you're here to help me. And I know that might sound really woo-woo, but if you can allow yourself to feel your pain in your body and not run away from it, you are training yourself how to do it emotionally, okay? So when you can do it physically, you can do it emotionally. So I don't mean like when you smash your arm on something to just sit there and be present with your pain. I don't mean to like go and cause physical pain to yourself and then like be there physically with your pain. I mean when you're experiencing emotional pain, just filter it through the physical body, because you're always going to feel it in your body. So just noticing where you feel it in your body, and then when you get good at that, just, can I relax? Okay, can I not run away from it? Can I just be approving of, okay, body, thank you for telling me this negative emotion is coming up. Thank you, body, for telling me this negative emotion is happening. Thank you, body, for showing me that this is where it's stored in my body, instead of trying to push it away. Because again, like we've talked about this a lot in my videos, that all of your negative emotions are there to help you, okay? None of them are there to take you down. So if you can start with just on the physical level, okay, I know you're here to help me. I know you're here to help me. I know you're here to let me know something I need to know. I know you're here to help me. You're not a bad thing. You're not wrong. It's not bad. I'm not going to abandon myself in this. I approve of this, right? You just start to do that on the physical level. Then once you can do that on the physical level, life will kind of guide you to start doing it on an emotional level. You will be able to go back into old moments, old traumas that your pain body is pulling you to, and you're going to be able to be unconditionally, approvingly present with what happened. And that is when all the insights and all of the revelations and all of the gold of our past situation lies. When we can be in a state where we are present with what happened to us in the past, where we can have a painful memory and we don't run away from it, and we just allow ourselves to feel what we feel. We tell ourselves that it's okay that I feel mad at my dad for doing this. It's okay that I feel very upset with my grandpa for doing this. It's okay that it's okay that I don't think that this was okay, even though I have told myself for 1,000 years that I should feel like this was okay. You start to just approve of how you feel about things that happen to you, and then you can start to approve of the things that happen to you. And then, after you get good at practicing that, you will start to be able to approve of the things that are happening to you, right? So when you have anger, you won't tell yourself, I shouldn't be angry. You'll say, okay, I approve of my anger. I'm unconditionally approving of my anger. I'm so angry right now. And I'm just going to be in it. It doesn't mean you project it out. Okay, it doesn't mean you go on a rampage where you start yelling at everyone and it's like, I have the right to own my anger and F you. It's internal, okay? I'm angry and I'm okay with the fact that I'm angry. I don't have to make myself wrong for it. I don't have to not be angry. I don't have to do anything about it. I'm allowed to be angry, right? And that is how you heal. That's literally how we heal emotional traumas, is we be unconditionally present with the emotion that we're feeling, right? And it's a journey, right? It's a process, like I just said there. And so if you can just start by being in the present moment when it's not traumatic, and then just noticing when you feel something in your body, and then just noticing that you can feel something in your body and you can say that you think it's okay, that it's not wrong, that your body is tensing up or is hurting or whatever, that it's good, that it's helping you. And then you can do that on an emotional level, that your emotions are actually there, they're okay. You learn how to relax into your negative emotions, and that's when you heal, because that's when you're present. And that is really truly the greatest key to present moment awareness and being in the present, is that's how you heal. That's how you heal everything. Because when you can be present with yourself in your negative stuff, in all your painful stuff, that's when you see the point of it. That's when you get the revelation. That's when you get the, oh, I see how this all worked together for good. Oh, I see how this actually came together for my good. Oh, I see how this was not life trying to F me over, that this was life actually giving me something that I needed. And that's when you can actually get everything out of all of your experiences that then lead you to be who you need to be in this present moment. And as you keep going forward, and every experience you have and you approve of that experience, you get what you need out of it. And then you just become the person that you're here to become, because like I've said in the video about that life isn't trying to F you up, it's trying to give you what you need to be the person that you want to be. And the only way you can get those things is by being present. Okay? So if you have any questions, comments, concerns about that, leave them down below. Find me on Facebook. I'm Perception Trainers. Find me on Instagram. I'm Allie_Perception Trainers. Sign up for our free 3-day challenge that's going to be coming out in a little bit. So you can sign up down below to get information on that. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.